All right, let's get into it. Oh, a bit earlier for me this morning, 8:42. Wow, had to go to drop the car off. So it was reason to get up, get out of the house, get things going a little bit quicker. But yeah, anyway, we're here for the charts, and what is it, 17th of January. So look, I'll start off with gold because this has just been an absolute sort of rip the last couple of sessions, just absolutely grinding up through this area. Look, just a really little bit of a recap of it all. We had that first attempted breakout. We had the pullback, double bottom, which then sort of obviously led us through to this little part with a second attempt breakout, back test, and bang, away it went. And really, yesterday was a very sort of typical sort of gold move kind of day. It's sort of almost a little bit sort of nostalgic of us how old school it is with its price action, but we had a very quiet Asia session, a little bit of a pump up in that just off the start, but this is a very typical gold move. Consolidate, fake down, reversal, bang, and moved right up through this period through here. So, excuse me, played out very well. Hit the upper price targets where we had sort of pretty much marked out. I mean, you can see this is where the sellers were, this is where the sellers were, and just in case you've been under a rock, these are the sort of areas in which we had those big rallies after the big sell downs. I mean, 9% sell down, what a massacre that was. But of course, subsequent pullback, poof, really ripped up here. Obviously, a little bit of a double top through this area here. And yeah, it's just been consolidating in this triangle ever since. So look, pretty much where we're at the moment. We've got the inauguration next week. I don't think we're going to be getting any sort of major breakouts with much, with anything really. And although sort of the major breakout is obviously up over here, I look, I'd be surprised. Look, if we do take out the highs over here, that means they're keen for it, and very much sort of positioning against the idea of I would say probably stronger tariffs as what would be driving gold higher. Of course, it's never just sort of one thing, but I would say that would be in terms of this situation with sort of Trump coming on board, that would be the sort of direction that people would be, or the market would be, sort of positioning itself. However, I do believe that US dollar is going to continue to sort of sell down at some point. Uh, it's a nice idea at some point. I'll get on to DXY in a moment. But I do believe, as I said a couple of times, once we see that sort of continued sort of sell off there, I think those flows are going to sort of be coming back into metals, but obviously in this case, sort of coming back into gold. So has been a nice little rip last couple of days. It's on the 4 hour, overbought into resistance. You're pulling back here at the moment. Look, it's a funny time in the morning. Um, I think, as I said, I'm not normally sort of up and about at this time, so I think we're going to see, obviously this sort of like go offline for a little bit. It's just 1 hour or so, and then it'll sort of be back online and be able to sort of see what's happening from there. But as it is at the moment, end of the session, into resistance, overbought, you know, people take profit. That's it. That's just what they want to do. And if people are sort of for some reason wanting to try and short this, this is just yet another opportunity, as we've seen. Yeah, we've seen here, and we've seen here. So what's going to be happening from this point here is, I mean, as I said, I think we may see a little bit of a trickle back down over here, maybe a chance to sort of get back long if you want to get long around maybe the low 27s. A second attempt up around here, depending how quickly it comes. As I said, I don't expect major breakouts in that, so you could expect maybe just a little bit of ranging, maybe a bit bigger than yesterday. Obviously, yesterday was quite a tight set of little range, but sort of maybe a bit of ranging between 27, 27, 20. I imagine this will probably hold some pretty good sort of support. But at the same time, once this does, provided that this does go and we see this move come up through here, if we get the breakout here, look for that back test here. This is the time to get on because these are sort of big, long sort of sell downs. Look, if you shorted from this area, you did very well. You shorted from this area, you did very well. You know, most likely, not only are people taking profit here, you got people shorting from here as well. So what you want to try and do is capture those people. So when they sort of go up over here and they go, oh crap, I got this wrong, and it comes back for this back test, they're going to go, look, you know what? The last two times I shorted it, made money. made money. This time, wow, it's gone through, comes back here, I'll get out for zero. That'll be fine for me. They're going to close those shorts, and that's going to give you this leg through here. So, look, I do think this is the direction we are heading. Um, as to whether we get it sort of coming into the weekend, I don't think so. But, you know, you got to be prepared for these things. So let's grab one of these. Let's call this one here. Make sure these numbers line up. It's already passed. Good on it. 726, flipping up. 793, boom. Oh, what's the time limit on this? Just put it here. Whatever. Cool. So yeah, if we see a little never hit cancel. Jeez, told you, not normally up at this time. um, okay, did it. And look, we're going to be targeting 2750. Should you go through this area? I don't think we will, as I've said a couple of times here. But should we sort of get that little clip through there, make it just a touch higher, just go past that wick. Um, okay, I don't know what's going on with these alerts. Should we sort of get that little flip and push up here? I think, look, you could see another little leg up into this area over here. Maybe 2746, complete this sort of body fill to this area here. I think sort of on the dailies, why I've got this area sort of marked out here. So yeah, probably say this would be what we'd be looking at. This is just a normal zone. And as you can see, this is obviously that little sort of fake out area through here before that big sort of sell down. Excuse me. But even having a look on this daily, obviously it's a little bit overbought. It does look like it wants to sort of roll up and sort of have another little push. And as of course these things can stay oversold, overbought for quite a while. It's not a guarantee that it has to. And this is a lot better way, as in exchange, boom, coming up through here, opposed to these big long moves like this. Like these moves here, when people say things are overextended, that's what it is. This is what it is. And so it's reach right up, and then bang, reach up at them. This has got a new little level, and exchange profits. Boom. Exchange profits. Supports. So it's building up as it churns up through it. And this is what I was saying yesterday in the terms of it makes a difference the speed in which price comes to a level. And this is a great example because this is very fast, and both of them got rejected. This, as it's doing the exchange through here, gives a lot higher likelihood that we're going to see this sort of punch through. What does it look like on a weekly? Yeah, weekly's looking pretty good as well. So yeah, let's see what happens next week. I mean, weekly is looking amazing. I mean, oversold, tipping up, while it's already coming up over through here. Yeah, I think certainly if we take out these upper levels over here, a close on a weekly above 2758, watch out because we're going above 2900. That's my call. Excuse me. All right. Let's get back to what we can do here. So look, I'm reluctant to short this, just given everything I've just said. I think sort of if anything, I'll probably wait for maybe a bit of a pullback down here. 2702, just a quick touch up of this wick here. It just sounded a bit weird. Quick touch up of that wick just there. Probably around here, if we can get sort of a little bit of a cooling off through here, probably look to get long for another drive up towards this resistance level here. But as I said, I'd be reluctant to be adding too much in that because I just don't think we're going to get that breakout prior to inauguration next week. Let's flip across. Let's have a look at DXY. As I said, this is what I believe is the driver. And look, this is just charting beautifully. I mean, these things are coming in like yeah, like a sort of pre-written script. And as you can see, bang, sold right down. Test up here, bang, sold right down. And this is the beautiful thing about doing these daily sort of actual talk through analysis that you can go back and go, look, yes, are you in tune with, like the way I use it, are you in tune with the market? And yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm just blatantly bloody wrong. Like I stupidly hung on to some swings, and very much it's like I've woken up from a stupor. But anyway, that's not my time frame. My time frame is in and out. So the point is with this at the moment, it's coming up. We know where the sellers are. We've marked it out the whole time. They've been buyers, they're sellers, they're going bang, push it down, bang, push it down. We had retail sales out last night as well. Now, it was a very weird, I just on this quickly, I'll just go to the news because we had some a bit of a mixed bag of the data out last night. So we had retail sales, as you can see here, revised up, but came in weak, came in weak. We've got unemployment claims. So their unemployment's pushing up, retail sales are going weak. So it, this is where I say with the max bag because I'll get to this philli thing in a moment, which is just insane. But on the retail, which is obviously your little red one, so they put it a little bit higher. Um, Basically, look, it has improved, but not at the level that it's priced for. And what was this before it was revised? Revised up. So they're expecting a little bit of a slowdown, and it slowed down even more than they sort of thought. So the idea being here, although this one obviously is a tick up with the core and it's a bit of a slowdown with the retail sales there, people are obviously struggling a little bit more. Like that's the long and short of it is that sort of like people are going, okay, well, it's a bit tough to buy my milk and my bread, which look, I was just over in the US and it is bloody expensive over there. God knows what people that are just doing your normal wage sort of think about things and that, but it is expensive. And look, if you're spending, I don't know, $10 for some milk or whatever it is, if you're spending your money just to get by, you're not going out and buying a whole bunch of extra luxury goods or all these sort of things that make up the retail sort of figures and that extra clothes and TVs and all this kind of stuff. Even if that is included in that sort of Christmas period, and it's still down. That should be the period where people are pumping out and spending a whole heap, but that's still down. So what does it mean? It means that sort of like that people are sort of struggling. People aren't sort of really sort of doing so well with it all because a lot of their money's going to your basic sort of stuff and the other parts there. So that slows down on businesses. That means that people, if they're not selling more, they're not going to produce as much in that because obviously you'd have excess stock, all this kind of sort of stuff. So this is very much a tick in the camp of, okay, hold on, wait, you know what I mean? While we sort of think, yeah, we should keep our rates higher for longer, that's counterintuitive to that. And this is why this would be dollar week, because you would sort of think that, okay, well, if people aren't out there spending and we keep the rates even higher, it's only going to get tougher for them. These numbers are only going to continue to move down. So that's why sort of you'd see a bit more of a tick in the camp for, maybe they need to sort of revisit the idea of their quantitative easing and sort of cutting sort of cycle. Um, Unemployment claims, bang, gone up. Again, same sort of thing. People are doing it tough. Is that really the time that they should sort of be going, well, let's keep sort of let's keep the no, obviously put the rates up, but let's keep that sort of rocking at a higher level for longer. So obviously, sort of like that puts more of a squeeze on things. More people getting filing for unemployment. Not a great thing for an economy. Less people working, less things being produced, most likely. So that's and also more of a strain on the actual government. So that's another tick in the sort of like can't necessarily hold it as high for as long. Though then you've got this, you've got the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index and that, and this number is an absolute beast. 16 -16.4. Expected a bit of a tick up to -5, and it just blew it out of the. I don't know. There must have been something that 250 manufacturers in the Philadelphia Federal Reserve. Right. Look, there must be something that has led to such an incredible blowout. I mean, if you look at the previous numbers. You're certainly not seeing anything like this. You know what I mean? Like even the sort of the extremes here, October they hit 10, 13, 15, they're the high numbers there. 44 is insane. I'm going to look further into this because I'm not quite sure. I don't understand that number as to why this would have just been such a massive sort of blowout manufacturing into sort of Christmas year end. I don't know. Maybe people are going to say, hey, make America great again or whatever, and sort of build it in their backyard. I don't think that's the case, but yeah, that's a big blowout number. And obviously, if manufacturing's up, well, that's a good thing. That's a tick, and maybe life isn't as bad. But I think these ones here outweigh this number just here. So yeah. Just while we're on this, have a look, see what the rest of the news for the day is. We've got a bit of China data coming out later, 1 o'clock. Retail sales over there, tick up. Production flat, and GDP up. I don't think any. It must be a quarterly figure. I don't know. Quarter on year. Mm. Anyway, yes, a bit of a tick up there. I don't think anybody believes the numbers anyway, but that's all right. It might move the market a little bit. We'll have a look. And then not really much towards to sort of finish the week off in that. So no sort of like 1 a.m., 12 a.m. sort of bits of data in that for a Friday night. So we got CPI from the Eurozone in that for what it's worth, but that's looking pretty much sort of flat. Anyway, back to the charts and that. So DXY, as we've seen, attempt to move up, bang, sold into. Attempt to move up, bang, sold into. That's fine, and we're in this little structure, and we are seeing this rollover come down through here. Certainly, look, it tested underneath this support here again. This is the thing that sort of obviously as this comes back down, those flows went into gold, as I sort of mentioned before. If this continues down under here, I put one down here before, and obviously they tried to hold it, but this is the one. This is closed right on. That's 1, 2. This candle hasn't closed yet. Another 2 hours or so. But that's 2 closes right on the support there. If we take out the wick, let's put out this. And then taking out with H4 with low, this is when I reckon we might see this leg sort of come down over here. Now that's fine, there's a 4 hour, it's a decent sort of time frame. This is what we're really looking at though. This big negative divergence, which technically this negative divergence probably should have been starting from here, but the point is still the same. It is rising up here more recently on lower sort of buying pressure. And we're seeing this thing sell, 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 sell. As I said, I do believe this is the area that we're going to be seeing a little bit of action. So this is where I'll be looking for. Should we sort of break? Probably, look, honestly, probably that lower wick. I think that's where you need to get underneath to really sort of see this sort of shoot down through here. But again, we've got inauguration next week, so this could just go whoop straight back up here, or it could go bang down over here. So I think the goal at the moment for myself is just to play it pretty easy into the end of the week, and then sort of trade the fallout as it comes. Have some, as I say, powder dry for next week, and not really sort of worry so much about sort of what happens around here. Maybe a couple of little trades here and there, but I think so. Certainly at the moment, this looks like it wants to continue a little bit further down. I think we will sort of come down to this 107.65 level, and I think pretty much we'll see buyers step back in at that stage. This is one of these sort of moves which is up, bang, bang, like this. So it'll be interesting to see if this one pops through for its third one. So if that third one can go through, I think we'll get a lower sort of thing here. And this would almost sort of line up, disregard this I suppose, but a little bit of a head and shoulders should this come up and retest the underside of this support through here. And then obviously we look back down at this level over here, 105.60, should we break this level, but that's in time. There's no real sort of rush with these sort of things at the moment. All right, so 9 o'clock, just for what it's worth, 9 o'clock is when everything kind of goes to sleep. Gold, metals go offline, US dollar closes, Aussie flicks to, what are we at, 6.6 spread. So yeah, this is a nothingness kind of time. You don't really worry about anything around now. All right, anyway, so yeah, that's what we're looking for. Continuation push down there through there. All right, silver coming back. Which silver chart are we using? This is the one. So this is interesting because it is through this sort of bigger falling resistance here. Obviously, still finding a little bit of effort here, but backtest overtook it. Gave time for RSI to sort of cool off marginally. let's see how today goes. I think, look, again, I think this price target it could be a reasonable level, 31.20. I don't see major breakouts of anything here. I mean, on a very big stretch, maybe you move up towards that, but I just don't see it happening at the moment. Typically, as we saw, if you have a quick reference of gold coming through, it's saying test it out, bang, push back down. It's testing out at the moment, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a sort of like maybe a push up a little bit and then maybe come back down over here. So I think I'll probably be holding fire till you actually know what's going on here. It's above this little horizontal, that's great. Falling resistance, that's great. But yeah, I think 32 is realistically the target that it's going to want to go to undo this move down over here, and then that'll be your major breakout. But this will probably be coming about the same time that we get gold sort of pumping through till its sort of major highs. We've got gold silver ratio sort of breaking the neckline of its little head and shoulders. Yeah, so not a great deal to sort of say on silver at the moment. Everyone's favourite, well, favourite to bash, Aussie. Aussie, great sort of negative divergence through this area here. I was having a look at this actually just a little bit prior. Bang through this zone here, which we love a good negative divergence. Whoops. Probably more so these lows opposed to the whole sort of packet. But as you can see, this is low here, technically a lower low there, go to big bounce up. And then this last one was just, as I said, quick reversal, negative divergence, bang, pushing up. So look, Aussie, very similar to sort of gold, as I showed a second ago, in the fact that it sort of come into the resistance, tested out. This is on daily here, so you can probably see it a bit better on the 4 hour. Two attempts to go through there and smacked on the nose. It is holding where it should be holding though. So we're back seeing buyers go, okay, yeah, let's give this another go. And as we know, it sort of let them go down under here and it's moved back up, but it is holding here for now. I think realistically, yeah, you want to hold these 90s. If you don't hold the 90s, you look for 70. You don't hold 70, watch out below. You're going right back down to the lows. But as it is at the moment, this is really sort of just, it's actually for not breaking out, it's holding quite well. So, it had a little bounce overnight. I think sort of like, 20s, 20, 30, that kind of area is an early indicator. And then obviously confirmation above that 47 will give it a little bit of a sort of pump up higher. That's, don't like when these things jump around on the time frames, cut through. Current. Boom. So pullback at the moment is actually sort of holding quite well, and you can kind of see here as well where it came back down for the second time, shot back up. Retail sales yesterday obviously sort of knocked DXY around a little bit, sort of gave it a little bit of a shoot up in that, but obviously sort of Aussie being the sort of opposite side of that trade. Look, it's actually consolidating quite well through this area. It's given the RSI a bit of time to sort of cool off, to sort of come back down over here. Look, I don't see. I would call your major breakouts up above 62.80. So I wouldn't be surprised if we could see a little bit of a push. Let's update this a little bit because this is a bit more of a zone for us here. I didn't really sort of respect this so much. So let's get rid of that one. So this is kind of what we're looking at here at the moment. Two attempts through there. Okay, failed. Like natural sell-off. Buyers stepping up from this lower zone. They're stepping up here. So really coming into a little sort of bit of a pinch of a triangle for a breakout. And that's why I was saying that these levels down here could probably be used for an intraday trade, 20s and 30s, to be looking up towards sort of 2045. As I said, if you go underneath 90, well, there's your trade back down to 70. But as it is at the moment, more or less, it's holding this zone through the middle here, and it's not looking too bad. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As I said, if we see that little dribble down with DXY and take out that wick, we're not going to see major breaks in that. It's not going to be running a long way. But if you do see that little run down on DXY coming into the end of the week, this could give Aussie a little bit of a push up to sort of probably close on a bit of a more of a positive weekly note. There's the daily there. Yeah, I think, look, honestly, if we got a solid push up through here, as I said, 20 to 30, let's call it 26 if you cut it in the middle, then you're looking up at 45. So that's just a small albeit small little intraday trade. This kind of thing here looks ridiculous on this small time frame, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And as I said, I don't think we're going to get major breaks. If you do get a major break, then look, you're looking up to 67 into this zone here. But in terms of a weekly, it's probably the first time, bar this little way over here, where it actually looked like, okay, hold on, wait, we might be able to do it. And this is what I covered the other day, which was it? Maybe it was on the other Aussie chart. These little fake outs, and this, if you look at what I said over the weekend, this is kind of what we know Aussie loves to do. Blow the bottom and then squeeze it to all hell. So, you know, I mean, look, it all depends on Trump and this, but the big major breakout's above 63. 63, and then we can put a fib on this, a proper fib, and see where we're going to come back up to. And sort of see how that goes. But certainly, look, RSI on the weekly, oversold, tipping up, just needs to follow through. That's it. It needs to follow through. Cool. So that's a bit of Aussie copper. Copper reaching very high here, doing very well. Look at this, pumping through. And this is on the weekly, which obviously we don't trade so much. 47 was the immediate little price target. We're a sniff away from it all at the moment, but yeah, certainly looking very strong. Where was the one here with the triangle? Yeah, so this is the move that we were looking for, more or less. I mean, a couple of points either side of it all. A little bit short of it all, but this is pretty much exactly going to plan. We got the breakout through here. This is that big sort of grind area that we had sort of prior to the election. So copper's really come back very strong. So major breaks for that is really above. Look, I would say above 47, but above 45. I think that's your major breakout level here. I think once you go above here, you're really targeting bigger moves. This is a bit more worthy of a directional thing. I would say even above here, maybe a close up here might do well, but I would say that's really your major breakout level there, above 452. But for now, doing quite well. And again, this is why I'm a little bit cautious to be doing too much, because obviously you've got wicks either side. This is on the 4 hour. Wicks either side on this move. It is grinding, but it's overboard. It's coming into the weekend. It's had a ripping week, ripping 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like it is up. What's this now? It's up 11% in 2 weeks. So, you know, it has been pumping along and it's coming into a resistance area. I think sort of, and this is what I was saying, same thing with gold, I think copper as well. It'll all sort of chill out a little bit into the end of the week. Could be wrong, we could get big breaks, but I would be reluctant to be buying these highs. I'd be waiting for a little bit of a cool off. And finally with China, China is testing, it is doing what it does, it grinds. So let's change this and put this down over here because this is really a level to itself at the moment. So this is this little wedge here. It has gone through this little sort of short-term support and it's bounced back into it as grinding and rolling over with it all. Alert remains the same. Alert under here, go back to the main trend, which it hasn't, sort of tested up for a little while. So I think certainly like everything, it's in wait and see mode. Tariffs come, bang, up here is the expectation from the market, it seems. Tariffs, they don't go so hard. We see one and a little bit of confidence come back in there. Look, there's been a lot of, I've covered it every day, but like there's a lot of headlines that have been out for the yuan recently, sort of saying that it's sort of like, you know, that PBOC are going to do what they can to stabilize the currency. They've also been saying that Xi's happy to talk with Trump. So there's a lot of things to sort of say that, like, you know what, hey, you know, don't blow us to hell with the tariffs. We're going to play ball. And you got to think, as I said, like if that's what you got the tariffs in your holster. What is it that Trump's going to get by blowing them out right now? I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe, and that's not a sort of rhetorical question. Well, I guess maybe a bit rhetorical because I don't believe there is anything, but maybe there is something that I don't know about. That's all also a possibility, of course. But the thing is, it's sort of like if that's what you've got in your arsenal, wait till there's something you really want. Wait till there's something to really sort of knock them on the head for. But they don't seem a threat at the moment. Maybe that's a perception, but they seem more keen to sort of play ball this time, as I've said a few times. So yeah, it'll be interesting to sort of see how things sort of play out next week. But I think we'll probably see a rollover of the one and come back down to the bottom side here. That'll come in line with DXY selling off a little bit, come in with a little bit of Aussie recovery, come in with major breakouts of metals. That's my sort of feeling. All right, that's it from me.